Hi guys, okay, thanks for coming back and watching the last part of my May Arts Challenge Christmas Craft Challenge project. This portion of the video is going to go over with you guys the items that I used to create these three vintage holiday themed paper cones. I'm going to try to keep this within the 5 to 10 minute range because I use a lot of products on this. So I just wanted to do a separate piece just to show you guys what I used. So these are the cones back here in the background so you guys can have a visual of what I used. And because you get to choose the ribbons that you want to work with, if Bethany likes your idea, then she sends you 4 of the 6 that she offers. And again, here are the 4 that I chose to work with. This is the mini pom-pom trim. This is the tinsel edge ribbon, and this one is the twill chevron stripes. And then this last one is the curly sparkling ribbon. So those are the 4 that I used to create the base of these projects. So for the paper collection I used, I won't pull out every single sheet just because you guys have probably seen me use the Authentique collection quite a bit already. I love it. It's the glistening. So I used the blue snowflake background. I used this print one here. And then, hold up so you can see a little better. I used the print one, so I used this one and this one. And then for the last one, I used this kind of, this one here, it's a snowflake, kind of like on the back of a craft pattern. So those are the papers that I used. And then I'm going to go ahead and just start with, going from the cones from left to right. Now, I used a combination of some different sprays from Lindy Stamp Gang, and I'll point those out as I go along. So for the first cone here that you see, I used, of course, the May Arts ribbon. This paper that you see right here is from the 12 Days of Christmas from Graphic 45. How to achieve this, what I did is I cut it out first and I tore around the edge, and then let's see here, I'm gonna come back in just a quick second because I gotta plug my camera in, so I apologize you guys. I'll be back in just a quick second. Okay, back. Sorry about that, you guys. Just had to plug my camera back in real quick. And so I'm not sure where I left off that I was talking. So I'm just going to kind of start over real quick. So what I did on the first one here, again, is, using the Graphic 45. I just used, what I did is I tore it out, cut it out, tore the edges, did some inking with some frayed burlap. And this is actually what I used on all 3 of the cones, is the Tim Holtz Distress Ink frayed burlap. And then I just put some multi-matte medium over the top of it. And then I just kind of held it for a second and kind of curled it and then set it off to the side to dry. And I'm going to show you guys, let's see here. This is what I used on, just in case nobody knows what it is. It's the Studio Multi-Matte Mediums, what I used on there. And then I just set it off to the side. I do have a larger paintbrush that I kind of push underneath here to kind of get that kind of a wave. Now the next thing really fun are these flowers. These are some paper flowers from Mona Mi Gabby, and I'm going to show you what they look like before I altered them. And bear with me, you guys, I have quite a few things over here because I did so many different techniques on a lot of these projects. So this is what the flowers look like before from Mona Mi Gabby. There's some of their paper roses, and then this is what it turned out looking like when I was done. So I covered this in a couple coats of gesso is what I did first, and then I used a combination of some different sprays from Lindy's. I used the Frozen Jack Frost. And then I also used the scintillating, or there was another shimmer one I used, but I don't have it over here, so I apologize for that. And then I put on some of the Tim Holtz Distress. Sorry, everything, I usually work from my right and show you guys stuff this way. My cart, for my utility cart thing's over here to my left, so that's where everything's at right now, so I apologize for being kind of weird. Anyways, it's the dry glitter, the Clear Rock Candy, and I sprinkled some of that on here, and then just used some more of that Jack Frost, and I hope you guys can see that really well. I did that with the bigger flowers from Mona Mi Gabby, and then I also did this to the white ones from Mona Mi Gabby as well. So I didn't have to use quite as much gesso on this one. Even though it was already white, I still wanted to kind of give it that kind of thicker look. And so those are the 2 flowers, how they turned out. I thought they turned out really, really pretty. I like that a lot. So I made quite a few because I wasn't sure how many I was going to use in the project. So I have some that are extra. I just have them in this dish just to kind of show you guys. But that's what I did there. Now on a couple of them, you'll see, excuse me, I apologize for my throat. And I'm trying to find the one that has I made my own kind of texture, kind of snow paste. And this is one of them. You can see here, it's kind of, hopefully you can see it. I didn't do it on the bigger ones. But anyway, that's what this one looks like. And I'll show you in the clothespins I use. Matter of fact, let me do it right now. Let me show it to you so you can kind of get a better visual. This is just a wooden clothespin. I got these in a rack from Peggy. Thank you, Peggy. I love it. I use quite a few of the products from you. This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like after I painted it with a couple coats of gesso. And then what I did is I mixed together some white craft sand, just this right here. Excuse me, guys. I'm getting over my cold I've had for almost 2 weeks. I apologize. Some white sand that I picked up just at a craft store. And then what I did this time, instead of using the modeling paste like I normally do, I end up using just some gesso, and I'm trying to pull my container out so you guys can see. I just got these little containers from the dollar store. Anyway, that's what the mixture looks like, and it's still really moist. I made it a couple days ago. It's in a sealable container, and this was just, I just used a different binding medium this time instead of my normal modeling paste, and that way you know, it's kind of gave this really nice chunky thick texture, which I liked. And then I used some different Lindy sprays, a couple different colors on here for each of the clothespins. So that's that project to show you. That one's done. And so anyway, just again, this really, really pretty way these flowers turned out. Okay, and so I think it's everything on this one that I did. Oh, the doily. Can't forget my beautiful doily. I also got the doilies from Peggy in the same rack. So thank you again, Peggy. And this is what they look like before. There's two different sizes she sent me. This is the size that I used on the project. So what I did is I used two different Lindy spray. I think I used two on this one. Yeah, two different Lindy sprays on this one. The first one is one of the Glitz Spritzes, and it's the Cactus Gold. And then I used the Scintillating Silver. Let me grab it here. It's also a Glitz Spritz, and it's the Scintillating Silver. So I used a combination of those two, and I'm going to try to hold this up so you guys can see just how beautiful that turned out with those two different shimmer sprays. I love that. It's kind of a really nice color. Kind of goes really well with this, you know, the curling ribbon from Mayarts. So there is what I did for that one. And then I think that's everything on this one. I might jump back, hopefully not. I think that's everything on that one. Now the middle one, the one for 25, I'm going to hold that one up as I'm talking to you guys about it. Move these over here. Again, this is the middle one, using more of, you know, the ribbons from Mayarts, of course, because it was a Mayarts challenge. And this is just some vintage tinsel that I had picked up from while I was at Junkins. I don't have any more of that to show you guys. Actually, I do have a little tiny piece left, I think. Yeah, I have a little strip right here left. So this is just some vintage tinsel that I used to put around the perimeter of that one. And then for this one, and I'm going to really quickly, you guys, oh, actually I have one right here. I thought I put it back, but I didn't. So what I have here in the center, as you can see, it's this frame. It's just a white resin frame that I picked up from a store on Etsy, Hopscotch Crafts. And then what I did is I put a couple coats of gesso on this, and then I did some more of the dry the dry glitter. I use this quite a bit on almost all three of the cones, so you're going to see that one quite a bit. And then I turned it from looking like just this, you know, it's pretty in its form as well, but I wanted to alter it. So it went from looking just a plain, you know, white shiny into this really pretty kind of glistening, snowy looking frame. So that's what I did for that. And this, of course, is from Tim Holtz. I can't remember the name of the actual item, but it's like little number plates or like little pieces of metal. This here is, those are two little flat back pearls, and they are from Studio 112. I just used two of the silver, and I did that to top that off there. And then on this one as well, I did some little silver at the bottom. This is just some silver trim kind of on the string, this kind of thing. I don't know. I've heard this called so many different things from different, you know, people and vendors and whatnot, but it's just this kind of stuff. And I just tucked some of that coming out the bottom of this one. And that's, I think that's all I did technique-wise. Oh, and I have, if you guys can see them poking out here, those little stick pins. These are from Monami Gabby. Some of their couture stick pins are very, very pretty. I used those in a couple other projects as well today already. So there's that one. And then for the last one, this one here has quite a few different techniques on it. Oh, sorry guys, let me flip these over here. They're a little top heavy because of all the embellishment I have on the front, so stay. Good cones, stay. Anyway, so this is the last one, and then as you guys can see, what I mentioned in the other video, I decided to go ahead and make this video completely separate from the one that I have where I'm showing you guys the products, or excuse me, the projects up close, just because I didn't want to make the video like a half hour long with combination of the first one. So I made a notation in that video. And if you haven't watched it, please do. I made a notation that this is what the pom-pom trim looks like to begin with. And what I did is, you can see it looks different. It's, you know, lighter on the project. So how I achieved that, I'm actually going to do this. That way I can keep picking it up and down and not having them fall all over the place. What I did to achieve that look is I used a combination again of some more Lindy's sprays. And I used actually 3. And the second one kind of got lost when I used it, but that's okay because, you know, I liked how it looked. So the first thing I did is I sprayed it with some of the Starburst. Again, I used more of the Frozen Jack Frost just to kind of give it a... No, let me back up. Did I do that first? No, let me back up, you guys. I apologize. First, I used on it the Scintillating Silver on there. I coated that first, I used my heat tool to dry it, and then I just kind of wanted to see what the Still Shimmer would look like. So I put a little bit of that on there. And again, it kind of got lost when I put the third one on. This is the Starburst, the Frozen Jack Frost. And, but I like how it turned out. It kind of gave this really kind of, you know, softer version of that red on there. I think it's just really, really pretty. And then you guys will see the next thing. So I did that for all the trim there. And then for the two little birds, these are from just Recollections. I don't know how much I don't know, dollar section or something. I took one of these wood birds and this smaller bird here, coated it with more gesso, and then I added some of the icicle stickles to that, just to kind of give those birds that little bit of a shimmer. And then on the stick pins, this time I used the flower pins from Maya Road. I took 3 of the white. That's what they look like before. And then I added a coat of gesso to that, and then I put on some of that texture paste that I made, and I'm going to show you guys one of the pins that I have left I didn't use, and that's what it looks like up close. So just using, you know, a couple simple products, you know, gesso, and then, you know, that texture paste. This is really pretty in its original form, of course, you know, that's what it looks like before, but then just using those couple little bit of things, you can turn it into a really cool textured piece that you can, you know, alter and you use on different color, you know, use different colors on it to use it for different kinds of themes of projects and that kind of thing. And then I also used just a little bit of the Cactus Gold on those stick pins just to kind of give them a little bit of a color. And then for the really fun part on here, for the rosettes that you guys see here, I just used your basic wax paper. I mean, this is from Safeway. This is like just, you know, cheapo wax paper. And I've used it, wax paper, in a lot of my projects and stuff before for other crafting purposes. And, but I thought it'd be kind of fun this time to try to make a rosette. I didn't know, I was going to originally use this piece of clear acetate for the rosette, but then I thought, no, I kind of want to make something that's a little bit more like a frosted winter window type of thing. So that's why I went with the wax paper for the rosette. And I'm going to show you guys, I had it, and where'd it go? I had an extra strip, oh here it is. I had an extra strip that I was going to show you guys what it turned out to look like. What did I do with it? I had it. Now I can't find where I stuck it. I'll come across it because it's in my pile of stuff here. So while oh, there it is. I put my sand on top of it. So this is what it looks like. I don't have the die out right now, but this is just the Tim Holtz tiny rosette die, and that's what it looks like. So this is a very doable thing, you know, and you can see I had started to fan fold out a little bit, and it's just really, really pretty. I like how it stayed together. And then what I did on top of the rosette is I took more of that silver edged or tinsel edged trim from Mayarts, and I made my own little flower. I cut apart to get those little pom-pom things in the centerpiece. I just cut some of the pom-poms off and stuck them in the middle. I did not alter these with the different sprays because I wanted that little bit of bright red to kind of pop off that flower, just to kind of give, you know, a little bit more dimension to it. And I think that's, oh, and then this one here. I also used another Tim Holtz die. Sorry, I'm jumping around, you guys. I'm trying to stay in order here. This is the Ribbon Flags banner die from Tim Holtz. I used that on the wax paper as well. This is really cool. I love how these turned out. And I've already been got some other ideas for some other projects. So what I did for these, I'm grabbing them so I can show you here real quick. That's what they look like. That's how they turned out. And these came apart. I've cut fabric and different things like that, and paper obviously, with that die. And these come apart. They don't stay together as a connection. So just be aware of that piece. But I don't care. I like how that turned out. So now I have these really cool little banners, and look at, just because of the way the wax paper takes the, you know, the texture of the dye, it has that kind of distressed kind of look already, and I just love it. I think it's very shabby looking, and I love that. So what I did for these is I took a couple different of the Lindy sprays, again, more of the Cactus Gold, and then more of the Frozen Jack Frost, and I sprayed the rosettes with that. And I'm going to hold this up so you can see it. And that way it just kind of gave them kind of a really fun, different kind of a look. You can see it right there, the different shimmer and the white spots. It looks like, you know, this was a snowflake paper cone, so I wanted to look like snow just dropped on those little pennants. And then what you're going to see here is the backdrop. Basically, it's just some vintage fabric that I have. I tattered the edges on purpose with my distress tool. And then I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can see a little bit of the shimmer. That's more of the stickles. This is because it's backed onto a piece of acetate, and I'll show you what the other half of that looks like here. This is the ornamental die from Tim Holtz. This is what the full shape looks like. This is just a piece of wax paper. I was just kind of playing around, but that's what the full shape looks like. And so I cut it in half without the embossing. Let me show you this, probably a better idea. Just in case nobody's seen the ornamental die. This is what the shape looks like. And then I cut it in half. And I have the other half here somewheres of the acetate. There it is. I cut them in half, and this is the fabric. This is some vintage fabric that I have, and then this is the clear acetate. And I ran this through one of my embossing folders, and that's how I was able to achieve that kind of a snowflake pattern. Otherwise, it would be just clear. And then what I did is I took some stickles on the raised portion of this die cut and let it dry, and then I just layered these together and kind of made the matte, you know, if you have you for that, and then just kind of the matte, and then layered the wax paper rosette, and then the flower that I made with the ribbon, and then I just tucked in behind, you know, those stick pins, and then stuck little birds on each corner there. So that's basically what I did to create these 3 different cones. I don't think there's anything else that I used. If I did and I forgot it, I'm sure you guys probably not going to care, because I'm probably talking way too long on this one as it is. And again, this is the hanger I picked up from Pick Your Plum. I have a haul video of this. When I got these a few months back, I didn't have this particular idea as far as like the way it was going to look, but I knew I wanted to use these to hang craft projects off of, like tags or things like that. So that I really am glad I got these, because it just works really well with this. And then these are some things that I'm going to be displaying in my home myself this holiday season. And then, you know, I can change them out, the greenery next year or something different if I want, that kind of thing. So just another fun kind of gift holiday idea you can make for somebody, and you can make them for anything. Birthday, no theme at all, just, you know, have it in your home decor colors if you wanted to do that. So thanks you guys for sticking with me on this kind of sort of long product used video. And if you haven't watched the first video where I feature or show you guys the 3 cones up close with some photos, be sure to do that. I don't know what day this is going to be live on the May Arts blog. I can't post it on the video or anything until Bethany has it up on the May Arts blog. But when you guys are seeing this, then you're going to know. So I'll come back and edit the video and put a link to the blog, May Arts blog, in the description below, so you guys can check out all the other participants. I'm excited to see what other people have created with the ribbon selections that Bethany gave us. So I will see you guys later. Happy holidays and happy crafting.